in the first place. When we look at it, you know what I'm saying? You did that with Zelensky. Same time Trump got in office, you put Zelensky in office because that was the insurance plan, as we should say. You know, to bring the pressure down in the mixing of the witch's brew in the pot. You know what I'm saying? This was just another one. But you see by the cost of these things, is it so, and how many lives is involved that is lost. Same thing we see in the Gaza Strip. Same thing. What's the difference? That's just another mix of the witch's pot and the brew. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at this, we see where you talking about now there's a conflict in the ongoing Ukraine. Shit, that shit you chumped up with Creep Joe Biden and the rest of your alligators motherfucking bitches who up in there doing bullshit talking about you running our government. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the people involved. I see the people protesting all the time. I see the people always behind yo fuck up Madame Blavatsky, Alistair Crowley, and L. Ron Hubbard 8-ball bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. I don't hear the people speaking on the podium up in Congress. You know what I'm saying? If they were so interested in changing this shit, and you could put 250 million people in Manhattan and block off blocks and nothing move, why you didn't take it to the House of Congress with 450 billion people? Because like I said, sometimes y'all can't get together to even think of a greasy spoon, but you could kill each other at alarming rate and follow behind the beast very well. You know what I'm saying? The Council on Foreign Relations, you know what I'm saying, article, if Russia goes nuclear, 3 scenarios for the Ukraine war discuss the shifting rhetoric around the potential use of nuclear weapons in the context of this war. Fuck a context, bro. Fuck a context. You know full well that straight bloody fucking murder you're talking about. You cannot justify it in any context. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the context of this war. It's outlined 3 distinct scenarios for Russia: use of nuclear weapons, defend itself against your nuclear ass, each different, rational, each with different rational and likely consequences. The first scenario involves Russia testing of nuclear weapons as a warning to Ukraine and its supporters, aiming to demonstrate resolve and capabilities. The second scenario, you know what I'm saying, envisions Ukraine threatening core Russia interests, potentially leading. Listen to this. Ukraine threatening Russia's core, from what we see in here, core interests. Now, if Ukraine is in Russia to begin with, and to me they're Russians, if you want to call it on the same plateau, you know what I'm saying, of a genetic, you know what I'm saying, you're all the same to me. But, you know what I'm saying, what would Ukraine be doing fucking with Russia's interests, potentially leading to a nuclear result? So you use Zelensky, put him in office right as Trump got in as well, as your secret little mission you were doing on the undercover. See, the demon Democrats believe that they think for us. They believe whatever they say, they talk for us. This is something that the people has got to start fucking doing. Fuck an election, bro. When it comes down to a nuclear fallout that could radiate and burn you to a crisp in seconds, and the aftermath I just read to you is not an outcome that you can believe that will actually be feasible. Because even those islands that you're talking about in Australia, these different places, what if they get hit as well? or even close to. You know what I'm saying? So, don't give me this calculated scenario in itself. You did this. And then you put Creep Joe Biden in there, and he just followed through and did the same bullshit. The Demon Democrats always do this bullshit and been doing it for many, 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 many years. You think this is the first time we've seen this? We saw it with John F. Kennedy. Looking back, even at a young age, at the scenarios and putting together the clues. You know what I'm saying? They full of shit too. You know what I'm saying? But leading to a nuclear response. The third scenario, you know what I'm saying, considers the possibility of Moscow misreading military signals leading to a perilous escalation. The article emphasized the need to carefully consider the potential consequences. Motherfucker, how they gonna do that? You think Joe Biden, the bullshit he did, trumping up the Ukraine deal and all this other bullshit and making sure that this nuclear shit pop off and all this bullshit posturing and shit going on, do you think that they're gonna give a fuck about that? You know what I'm saying? Talking about consider the potential consequences. Well, you should go tell NATO criminal ass that. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about consider the potential consequences of a nuclear escalation in the context. Here we go to context bullshit again. In the context of Russia-Ukraine war. It's not a Russian-Ukraine war. It's a United States war. Using Russia to do so. It's not a Gazan or the Palestinian people. It's your United States leaders over the years, including creepy ass nutcase man who was probably an orchestrator of creating an Israel, putting it there and causing that situation to continue for 75 years. The Ethiopians felt the pressure from it, the Gazan Palestinian people, Sudan, Congo, and all the field. And I don't understand why African people are still sitting up there sucking them their balls when you should be washing the land like Gucci and running them out. All right. If they're not there to help, build, and put power in your hands, and you're not corrupted in the mind as a pedophilia, blood-sucking son of a bitch, and to show that you are the gods of this planet and make sure that life is sustained and guarded, here you busy doing bullshit. All that talk about freedom and all that talk about Africa and all that talk about raising a fist and all that talk about the Black Panther Party and all that, you let them sit there and just destroy it. Because you are involved in it. Many of you are thieves and crooks and bloodsuckers, just like the rest of them beast suckers you follow. Africa, stand up. It is now time. Now, when we look at this shit talking about some Russian-Ukraine war, it's not that, and we know that. This is something they chopped up because they'd rather blow this bitch up than to give it back to who it belongs to and also be caught in the nasty crime medical shit they've been doing for over 75 plus or more years. Deterrent remains the best safeguard. How you gonna deter something you chumped up bitch? How the fuck you deter something you chumped up bitch? Talking about some motherfucking NATO and pumping all that money into other countries and robbing the American people money's blind. While y'all fill your pockets and get more and more rich and more powerful, more and more control over our money, more and more control over this, more and more control over that. What the fuck is you talking about? Talking about a deterrent remains the best safeguard. You ain't give a fuck about no deterrent, you son of a bitch. The safeguard, the only deterrent safeguard we have against a full-scale nuclear conflict actually occurring. You know what I'm saying? The threats of massive you know what I'm saying, retaliations and resulting in mortality, uh, mort- mortality, 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 assure destruction or whatever you're talking about, unacceptable, unfavorable outcome for both nuclear powers has though far helped to keep, you know what I'm saying, the unlikable from happening. How the fuck you gonna do that? So if you did that, how we got here? Hmm? If you did that, you know what I'm saying, all these years to keep it under wraps, how did we get to this point? Is the question that we must ask while you're talking. Bullshit. So in essence, when we look at the whole operation as to what is going on in our country and our leadership, you know what I'm saying, we recognize that the American people, I can't believe even allow many of these elected officials like Liz Cheney, her father Dick the Nut Liz Cheney, and he's another jackass just like she is. She's an idiot. Anytime you would listen to anything Liz Cheney has to say, you're an idiot. She's going to fuck up your brains. Stay away from her. Even when she's talking this nonsense, so she's agreeing along with a nuclear annihilation of the American people and many countries using the criminal organization they allowed called NATO, giving these people all our money for all these years. Even Trump said it. They're pumping enormous amount of money into NATO when they should be helping the farmers and our agriculture, you know what I'm saying? And they should be helping the old, the sick, and even the poor. And some of the programs that they put forward to help the sick, the old, and the poor, you know what I'm saying? Especially young people who becoming baby boomers or whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Can't even get that help. It's a mass of confusion sometimes when it should be more simpler, because it was real simple for you to go to Congress and scrape off $8.3 trillion to give to a invasion in Africa, calling it the Gaza Strip, and talking about it's Israel and so on. When both of y'all don't belong in a sense. That's African land. And you owe us. Because you were sat there for 75 plus years blowing shit up, killing one another and doing all kinds of shit. Now you got the upper hand on the Gazan people and you spark off a war, and we got to hear all this atrocity by invading forces. Invasion. Go invade Korea or something. Go invade somewhere else. Why you in Africa is unbeknown to me. And exactly where you are in Africa is very, very strategical and positive, isn't it? But has anybody ever asked a question or did the research on the originality of Israel? What they call Israel, criminally renaming the land that, a bunch of people? Have you really did your research on digging into that? You need to get over to the General Sarah Sultan Seti and let them educate you on that one. Or do your own research. You know what I'm saying? Now, the time for heroes comes in by Buck County, I guess the Beacon, from Joe Sundin, 23 hours ago, Eastern Standard Time. But we know it's the late edition. But we have Liz the Nut Gut Cheney and her dumbass father who did not help to produce and knock down the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. Her father was a product of that, along with Bush, Donkey Jr., and his father set it up from before and before and before him. She is a part of that product. Her father was the one, along with a bunch of government officials, thought people were stupid. And when people told the truth, you killed them, or whatever you did to them. Her father was the same one who helped to knock down the World Trade Center. So Liz Cheney, while she's sitting up there playing Mrs. Innocent and so bright and so fucking stupid and a very baffled, lead head, wide head looking Grinch, grumble ass, sitting up there lying to the people with her bullshit. She's just another product, an extension of her father lying ass and taking our country in the wrong direction. She said, I recently participated in a discussion on the subject of heroes. What hero? If you want to be a hero, stop doing what you're doing and stop the creeper and the rest of the oligarchs who's running your ass. You know what I'm saying? To stop doing what they're doing when it comes to this bullshit. Run across, and participated in the discussion on the subject of heroes. What does the word actually mean? It sure don't mean you, Liz the nut gut fucking Cheney, and your father bullshit that you did to kill them American people, had them jumping out the windows of the World Trade Center because you had that acid in there that was burning so hot, it probably was burning them as a fire burning as well. You are garbage. What action or people do I personally consider to be a heroic? Not your dumbass. Are there any heroes today? Surely not your dumbass. Do I or us repeat that again. Listen to what she said. Do I or us as a species need a hero? See how she pulled you into her cynical nonsense? All right. The discussion came in a wake of a premature death, or rather murder, of Russian descendant. I think his name is Alexei Navalny or something like that. Sorry to mess up his name. A person who, perseveres for me, most attributed of my own deception of a hero. One who puts the welfare of others ahead. Here, who the hell talking this nonsense? Liz the nut. You know what? We don't want to read anything from her. She needs to tell her father and the rest of them to apologize for what you did to the many people in the World Trade Center. Don't give me that nonsense. You see what I'm saying? She wants to try to exclude from the matter. No, you're not. No, you're not. You and your father is doing garbage, and you're just another product of that. So don't give me that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me that nonsense. When we really look at it, we don't need it. We don't need it. You know what I'm saying? We really don't. We really don't. We really don't. But now we're moving on, and we see where Mr. Rick Ross steps up and warns disillusional folks about voting for Trump. You know what I'm saying? By Cedric, Big CED, Big Cedric, Sid. You know what I'm saying? It looked like Thornton 25 hours ago. But Rick Ross sometimes makes sense and schools people now and then, whether it's business advice, real estate tips, or anything to do with hip-hop. But this time around, he touched on a political politics for a quick minute. In a video he posted on Instagram, he spoke about a phone conversation he was having with one of his homies, and it pertained to the time when Donald Trump, was in office. Particularly during the pandemic, he warned folks not to get disillusioned when going to the vote in the next, election. Warned folks, not to do. I guess for the next presidential election, he sent a warning by thinking that Trump had people eating. Trump had people eating vernacular. Had people eating vernacular, meaning that people were getting a lot of money. The Miami recording artist said, "I just got off the phone with one of my homies, and let's make it clear, you vote for who you want to vote for. It's fine with me." But one of my homies was like, "Boy, I can't wait for Trump to get back in." He had a nigga eating. Ross then paused as if to collect his thoughts. As if to collect his thoughts. I don't want anybody to be disillusioned. You can't be disillusioned, nigga. Did he have you eating, or was it a nation worldwide pandemic? You niggas stole the money. You know what I'm saying? Ross alluded to the PPP. You know what I'm saying? The PPP Paycheck Protection Program loan that took place during the pandemic. The government was giving out loans that small businesses did not have to pay back for loss of income and pay employees who lost work due to the COVID pandemic. Lying ass piece of shit. The rail, whatever there may be, I don't know what he's saying, may be on to something regarding the alleged eating done by folks who applied and got the loan. According to NSBC News, experts had predicted that about 10% of approximately $800 billion given out, by the government when went to, I guess it's fraudulous, frauders, what do you say, frauders? Or you say fraudsters who use the money for illicit gains that amount to as much as 80 billion. You know what I'm saying? And the people who were supposed to get it didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it that way. So in essence, Chris Ross could say what he wants and this and that and the third. We as the people have to do what we have to do to make sure that our government is doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? We're still sitting up here and we're not putting a focus on this matter as a whole. And this is something that has to be done. You have to have a focus on the fact of the matter of the people itself coming strong within the matter. You see what I'm saying? You can't, what has been happening is these people have been telling us what to do for so long. It's truly amazing. You know what I'm saying? We have to be stronger than that. This is why Malcolm X was speaking on many different fronts to do with these things. You know what I mean? We have to start focusing our mind down on that. You know what I mean? We sit up here and keep talking about a vote. A vote can't do it alone. The people have to be involved as well. You know what I mean? The people have to be involved as well. It cannot just be, you know what I'm saying, one thing. All of us must be involved now as to these votes.